conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Vader City Council. It is 6:04 p.m. on August 19th, 2026. Roll call.
Jason Daly.
Jason is absent.
Nicole Hansen. Here. John Hurt.
Here.
Sherry McKernan Kindle. Here. Mike Parsons.
Here.
Mayor Scheid.
Here. We have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mayor's report, the water receivership. Negotiations with Lewis County continue on the transfer agreement. The final draft is very close to completion. We're not running into any hard stops on this, so moving full steam ahead. Also, water receivership, Department of Health is drafting requirements of approval for the transfer to the city as well. So again, no issues there, so moving right along. Friends of Little Falls is hosting their next fundraising concert at McMurphy Park on August 29th, which is next weekend. And unfortunately, a 4th of July volunteer, Bill Clayclamp, he's volunteered for 4th of July program for the last 3 years. He did pass away at the end of July. His celebration of life is also next week. I have details on that if anyone is familiar with Bill. He was instrumental in the fireworks program here at the city, and so our condolences to his family. And then lastly, we're looking at ways to address some of the issues regarding costs that small-scale developers within the city have raised. We've heard the same theme from multiple sources for quite a while now. Currently, our subdivision standards require full street frontage improvements, beginning at just 5 lots in size for the development. So this includes the construction of pavement of a full width street, curbs, gutters, stormwater, and lamp posts. When complete, a small project at just 5 homes in size doesn't have enough profit to offset the construction costs of that infrastructure. In the past, construction costs were low enough that it was possible to meet this standard, but not anymore. So a discussion topic at the Planning Committee meeting last week centered around first-time home buyers and entry-level cost to home ownership, and keeping costs down benefits buyers, developers, and the city. So we're researching possible changes to our requirements that would continue to encourage the small-scale development that the city tends to prefer and address concerns around costs and create desirable neighborhoods where additional infrastructure could easily be added later when the time is more appropriate. So just a heads up that we are listening to what people have to say, and we're looking at ways to address those concerns. So, and then also one other thing, the city staffer that no one ever sees, Bill Wilson, he is retiring at the end of the year. He is our wastewater treatment operator. And so at some point here in the near future, we need to start interviewing candidates for a new wastewater operator. Bill will be missed. He's the most passionate person for wastewater I have ever met. He's going to be hard to replace. He loves his job. Any council reports?
I have mail service, mail, USPS in the city of Vader sucks. And I've talked to multiple people and they're done complaining about it because nothing's getting done. Almost every time I check my mail, there's 815 C Street, 815 I Street, 815, there's another one, G Street. I just put for all the residents on F Street, I just put a brand new bank of mailboxes up. They're all identical, they're all straight and perfect and clean, and I was missing one because my laser engraver messed up on it, so I was waiting for it to come back. That was 11/24. I opened up my 10/24, and sure enough, there was 11/24 in it. So since people are stopping complaining because nothing's getting done, I was hoping that the city can bring it to the post office attention. The other major issue is water bills. I don't get my water bill. Every now and then it's sporadic. I had to end up putting a calendar reminder on for my water bill. And when this all started, it was when the new mail person took over. And I was talking to Dan because he stopped by, he's like, Mike, I got a pink notice for you. I'm like, what? When? And anyway, he goes, I deliver probably 10 to 15 times more of these since the mail person has changed. And the county with the water, I asked them, I said, you do realize that we're not getting our bills? And they said, I thought something's going on up there, but $50 or $75, something like that, because they got the pink notice. So we need to do something about the mail service.
City could draft a letter and send it there on behalf of the citizens, especially if it's when it's really costing people money. We can do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I know that Vader isn't alone. I mean, if you follow
Riderwood is,
Winlock has all kinds of problems. I have a Toledo PO box as well as a Vader PO box, and I get other people's mail all the time in my Toledo PO box. So I know it's not a Vader specific issue.
yeah, it just got a lot worse.
But there are very few people involved in delivering our mail in Vader, and so it should be an issue that could be resolved.
Yeah.
Other council reports? Okay. Agenda approval.
Make a motion that we approve the city council meeting agenda for August 19, 2026.
A motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hanson, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval.
Make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes for August 5th, 2026.
A motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the minutes. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Hurt. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval.
Make a motion that we approve the amended end of July 2026 for $75,639.73. The end of August 2026 at $35,944.81.
Motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the vouchers as stated. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. McCurnell. I watched the council meeting from last week.
We had to turn them all.
And so I've caught whatever Jason had last week. McCurnan Kindle.
Thank you. It's okay. You can call me whatever.
I'm not gonna call you whatever I want. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, special reports, dance and service about the 4th of July for next year.
Well, thank you, council. Sasquatch and Santa Claus. If you guys went to the coffee shop thing about Sasquatch, that was really fun.
It was fun.
Somebody got up and.
As soon as I walked in, they're like, he's here.
The Sasquatch is here. You don't look like it, for the record, so. Anyway, I want to,
Need a whole lot more.
yeah, I need a lot more.
Well, they said he was a small, either an adolescent
Yeah, female.
Sasquatch or a
I'm a female.
female Sasquatch.
It wasn't quite full grown. It was awesome. So thanks for bringing some brevity to that. Yeah, and otherwise interesting.
You'll need to share your screen again.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, let's see. Let's see, go down to, you said go to there, share, go window, and type window, share. Does that look like it works?
We can see it.
All right, cool. Very cool. All right, we'll see if we can keep up with it. All right, so I'm not able to read any notes on this, so I'm just gonna wing it and just go off of what I remember I typed out, so. We'll see. But what I want to do is, for anybody who doesn't know, I wanted to introduce Hell on Wheels, which is previously a car show, but it's turning into something much, much bigger right now. Hell on Wheels is an organization led by my wife and I, Angela. We've got over 30 years of experience in the event industry. We've held over 100 successful events in the past, and it's something we're really passionate about, we're really good at. We have a lot of gear and equipment to support something like this. One thing I wanted to really come across was this last year, we were able to infuse $33,000 into the local economy in Kelso and in Chehalis, all the way from and in the surrounding areas with our car show. This came through us, Hell on Wheels, and it supplied a lot of people with a lot of income. A lot of people had a really great time. Not only that, but it showed that we had a few thousand people show up overall, and then additionally to that, we had see if this can keep up. About $10 million worth of show cars there. It was absolutely wonderful. Thank you for coming, by the way. Your show car alone was probably 40,000, so. It was a wonderful time, by the way.
Not
only,
not ours.
No,
No, that's Layton's.
Oh, that's what I meant, sorry. Good thing Layton not here, he's skinny. Additionally, it's starting to become something where it's a family tradition. People are starting to show up at the Hell on Wheels events as part of their 4th of July experience, rather than just going to a car show once in a while. We have been able to pack the place with live music every single time we've had it. These live bands are absolutely fantastic. Not only that, but it's proving to be something to where we're starting to have actual connections with each other at these events, to where we recognize each other in the streets, and we recognize each other when we go to different car shows. It's really fun to sit and talk to these guys about who they are and where they came from. Now, what I want to talk about is the vision for the future, because no longer is Hell on Wheels going to be just considered a car show. We're moving it out of the car show industry into more of an immersive event, an event that takes us all the way back to the 1800s. Something to where if you come to our event, you're not going to just be attending a car show, because I'll tell you what, there's 1,000 car shows out there. We can't compete in the car show world. There's so many car shows out there, but they're all in parking lots, or they're at the fairgrounds, or at a school or something like that. So we aim to do something different. We wanted to create more of an experience around this, where people can really come and experience not only what it's like to be back in the 1800s, but they can also have a really good idea of what it's like to eat like in the 1800s. Here we have what we plan on Friday night, which is a chuck wagon dinner with pulled pork, beans, cornbread, and apple cobbler, something that you might have had on the old plains back then. This is going to be served to about 400 people. Anybody that pre-registers with the car show will be able to come and have this dinner. Plus, we'll open it up to the public as well for a very low price, like $10. You can come and take part of our chuck wagon dinner. Now, additionally to that, we're not only going to have one. This is a stage that will be represented up on A Street, but we're going to have another stage in different areas. But live music is so important to me, as is something for the family to do while you're there. Not only is it important to have something for your family to do, but the family needs to be able to do something for nearly free or free. So all of our events, we want it to be affordable. Who went to the fair, by the way? You nearly needed to take out a mortgage in order to go to the fair. Not only were the tickets really tricky, but I think they intentionally tried to trick you into buying these wristbands for more than what you anticipated on buying. So you can end up easily with a family of 4 or 5, easily spend $300 or $400 there, just in a matter of an hour or two. That's not our style. Our style is fair. We want to be fair. We want to have an immersive experience where people come and they're like, hey, what were games like in the 1800s? So we want to fill the field with these different types of midway games that really show what it's like. Additionally, this year, I was supposed to go pick up one of these cars today, but I'm here instead, so I have to wait. Additionally, we've got a train being built and on order right now, and this train is a shuttle train. I'm in contact with Labor and Industries to make sure that we can operate it on the road systems here. I'll have to, work with the city of Vader as well. But the reason this train is so important is I'll get to that in a second. Riverside Park, we did this in 2026. We had some hiccups in trying to do this in Vader, so we ended up moving it to Riverside Park. It was a fantastic success, and what it did is it showed a couple things. It showed that proof of concept was there. Were people interested in coming to our show? The answer is a resounding yes. We had 170 pre-registered cars. Most of those were even registered before we even knew where we were going to land at the car show. Overall, we had about 300 cars come through the event, show cars, not just like Toyota Tercels, although some of those are worth a lot right now too. But we had about 300 cars and a few thousand people come through to experience what the Hell on Wheels experience was. Now, for having this be only our second year, I think that's pretty darn impressive. So now I wanted to present to you, council. I know it seems like I've been doing that, but now I want to present to you a future for Vader that has the opportunity. The Hell on Wheels, I didn't invent that. We didn't come up with that name. What it's about the Union Pacific Railroad and the Transcontinental Railroad trying to create a railroad back in the 1800s. So they would create these little pop-up towns at the end of the railroad line, and they were rough, they were dirty, but they were entrepreneurial, they were gritty, they were tough, they were everything that Vader is, basically. Vader is a railroad town. Back in the 1870s, when this was cracked, we had a railroad coming right through here, the timber industry, the clay industry, all this stuff relied heavily on the railroad. We are still a railroad town now, too, and if you don't believe me, just open your window at night and keep you up all night. We are still a railroad town, but very much part of our culture here. My father worked for the Union Pacific Railroad for 55 years until his retirement. He started out as a telegraph operator, if you can imagine that. Kind of dates me, and he ended up working in the office as an old timer. But it was really cool. So railroad is it's in our whole family's blood. Plus, I have this really strange fascination with old antique contraptions like trains. But so Little Falls, obviously, it has a huge history of being a railroad town. Very proud of that here. Now, let's get on to why Hell on Wheels started. When we were cleaning our Airbnb, I looked up on the wall and I was looking at this picture that we put up there on purpose. And I was like, you know, they had a car show here in the early 1900s. That's incredible. Looked at another picture that we put up and I was like, look at that. They had another one in 2013. Really cool cars. Got another look at a picture. Look at that. They had one at McMurphy Park also. So I call up Joe or I text him and be like, hey, do you mind if we put it on a car show here in Vader? We want to recreate that first photo and second photo. Right there on A Street, right out in front of the Airbnb. Joe thought it was a great idea, so we started planning. That was 2024. Now, fast forward to 2025, it became more than a car show. It became an actual event, and the event had personality. And what was cool about the event is that it gained so much traction that when I decided to do it again in 2026, even moving locations because of the hiccups we had overwhelming response to it, overwhelming success. Not only that, but 100% of the people that I went around and talked to, and I talked to almost everybody that came through there that I could, that had cars there, 100% of them said, I will be back next year. You just tell me where and when. Most of them begged us to have it back at this park in Kelso. I do not want to do that. It wasn't a big enough park. It was, well, it was a big enough park with 60 acres, but it was just a very strange layout. The city of Kelso was very generous and they were optimistic about having us there. However, they put a lot of restrictions on where we could park cars. So it just kind of turned out to be like, okay, we didn't really have as much control over where these cars went in Kelso as we hoped. But what happened is we created an immersive experience. This right here is Dead-Eye Rob. Dead-Eye Rob walked around and he messed with people. He's an old villain from the 1800s, and he's got a mustache that's about 12 inches long. That's not real, by the way. But anyway, he had a great time walking around. He was the villain of the thing. But the best part, again, was being able to talk to people, to learn about the history, like this cougar right here, how many months it took this guy to create this. He took that all the way down to the metal and rebuilt every single component on that car. And he deserved an award, believe me, I tell you that. Just an amazing vehicle. It became a family experience. Now the families are coming out and they're having a great time. This little girl, when she parked her car, she had a little placard out front, just like all the rest of the cars, and she was so proud of that thing. And I thought, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So it's not about making the car show bigger. We are beyond that. We have outgrown the idea of having a car show. What we want to do is we want to create such an immersive experience that people come to Vader and they want to stay in Vader and they want to come back year after year after year. So it's not about thinking small anymore. We want to think of the future, and I want to think 9 years ahead if you're going to go with me on this. So phase one, 2026. We already accomplished that first phase, and the whole idea was to create the concept to see if it would gain traction and people would be interested, and that was a resounding yes. In 2025, we had 80 vehicles that registered or came. In 2026, we had 170 pre-registered vehicles. it make it huge, it just proves that there's a huge market and undeniable popularity for this thing. But the vision, again, is to combine railroad culture with classic cars, because that's basically a railroad nowadays is cars, Old West characters, encampments, midways games, live music, storytelling, theatrical performances by different characters, just basically giving everybody a reason to come out. Now, let me go over the quick criteria that we have in our head. We're thinking of a 2-day event starting on Friday night. So starting Friday night, 4 p.m., people arrive. Anybody who's pre-registered their vehicle, they can arrive, and they can arrive on A Street, where we're gonna have a chuck wagon dinner set up with all those beautiful, wonderful things that I was talking about. The night market opens. The night market's interesting. I didn't have that in my head, but when I was talking to the Lewis County Chamber of Commerce about this event, they suggested a night market. And I was like, what a great idea. Have a night market going on at the same time we have this chuck wagon dinner going on. And guess who's coming to the night market? It's going to be vendors from all over the place. Mainly, I want vendors from Vader. I want homegrown vendors from Vader to be at the night market on the next day. And then at 7 p.m., after everybody's eaten, we have a movie experience in the heart of Vader. Now, who has the best experience with movies in our town? That's right, Mr. Mike over here with Harwell Farms. They did this wonderful movie night just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we had, oh my gosh, it was just an amazing event. 200 people showed up at this thing. Just an incredible event. We heard nothing but rave reviews about the entire experience, and people said they definitely wanted to come back. So I thought, we're gonna do a movie, this is the guy to do it. So we'd like Mike and Harwell Farms to set up the movie system up there on A Street and use it as a advertising tool for his movie night that'll go on a few weeks later over at his place. Now, we're gonna do things a little different. We're not giving everything away for free. That's gonna be for Mike's thing, and it'll draw a lot more people. After that's done, we'll have a DJ dance party right there on A Street out in front of the coffee shop. It's mainly for the kids just to get out there and get their little wiggles out, have a good time. People have little glow sticks and all that kind of stuff. It's only an hour, it's just for fun. But basically, it's a soft opening to a really great day the next day. So then when we move on to the next day, oh, how did that get in there? Sorry. Just kidding, we're gonna have those cutouts too, by the way. The next day, people will arrive and they'll start checking in their cars at 7 a.m. where they park. However, we're gonna have something called Rolling Thunder, which is gonna be really interesting, and I'll explain that in a second. At 8 a.m., car show starts, DJ music. We found that the later you start a car show, the more restless the car show people begin to get. And you also need to shut down a car show early, 3 at the latest, because they're gonna leave at 1 anyway, no matter what. So. And then at 10 a.m., the live music starts at all 3 stages. I'll explain that in a second. And then we have our live action characters that are walking around, like Deadeye Rob, like the Sheriff, like Doctor Who, like Darth Vader. I know none of it seems like it's connected, but it really is connected. They start going around. And then we build the fireworks. Noon, we have a theatrical performance. 12:30, we've got, I think it's gold panning with Bobby Bowe. He's going to be doing gold panning down at the Lake Creek at Little Falls. He's going to be doing live demonstrations on how to gold pan for everybody that wants to be part of that. He'll also be able to sign people up for classes. We'll have more live performances at McMurphy Park, and the car show ends at 3 o'clock, but we'll also have awards at 1 p.m. By the way, this year, we're done giving awards out as far as like trophies. We want to give out other, cool jackets that people have that says Hell on Wheels on the back and Vader Washington 2027. That's what we want to give away for car show winners. And then at 6 p.m., D Street opens. That's where we have the fireworks, right? Now that's when the vendors open their businesses up there. 7 p.m., we have a live performance. We're not talking music, we're talking more like break dancing performance or something along those lines, maybe a funny comedy performance, just to keep the kids entertained while they're hanging out waiting for the fireworks to start. 8:30, live music, a full-blown concert with steam. You can't really, I don't want to do fire, but we'll do steam. Fire would be cool though. And really cool musicians up there doing a full-on concert. We've already got the stage lined up for that as soon as we say go on that. And then 10 p.m., of course, the fireworks start. Now let me explain Rolling Thunder real quick. I'm almost done, guys, so don't worry. Rolling Thunder, 100 cars, imagine this. They all meet at Castle Rock High School at 8 a.m. and all together with a escort. They all travel on West Side Highway, 100 cars and motorcycles all, and then go right onto A Street where they have their spots reserved because they're part of Rolling Thunder. Now, not only will this create a really big bang in the community, but the media will be interested. They'll be taking video, there'll be people doing photographs. It'll really get a lot of good attention. And year after year, this can build into something that's pretty spectacular. But what a great way to start a car show, isn't it? Instead of just quietly coming and parking. So now that's just for 100 cars. By the way, we expect fully to have 400 cars at this year's event, and that's registered. Maybe a few hundred other cars just come through just to see what's going on. Now, here's the biggest part. Vader becomes the venue. It's not just A Street as the venue. The entire city of Vader becomes the venue with different experience locations. So we have an automotive location. We have an encampment on A Street. We have a midway on A Street down at McMurphy Park also. We have a storytelling stage. Remember I said everybody's got a great story about their car? We've got a little cool storytelling stage. We've got a theatrical performance on A Street. We have family funds areas, and then of course music. Well, what we're adding now is Parwell Farms to that, where people can come and have a lavender experience if they want to chill out for a little while. Maybe have some nice acoustic music on his stage. He's got a great stage building, and then be able to see things like lavender stuff being made. I don't even know what you guys do over there. I saw a lot of it, but man, what a cool experience that would be. They've been doing that since the 1800s, right? So that would be pretty cool. Again, now, what I want to also say is this presents an opportunity for nonprofits to come in and they can start earning money for their nonprofit causes. We have several nonprofits in the area that would be probably happy to be able to earn between $5,000 and $10,000 in a single day, just operating these midway games, doing a few other things as well. These are just a depiction of what we want to do with gel guns. Those aren't real guns, by the way. Those are like sheep orgies, so nobody can get hurt with those. And there's the storytelling stage I was telling about. I thought it'd be really cool to have Charlie come down and tell some of the stories about Vader, as long as he keeps the swearing down to a minimum. Was that?
Charlie Vermelia?
Yeah. How fun would that be, right? I was also thinking about you too, but I don't know if you'd be interested. But I was interested in people that have this root in Vader that know. Charlie was telling me the coolest story about people here in Vader when he was younger. They would take railroad car parts and then create carts, like the push carts and things like that, put little engines on them, and they'd travel hundreds of miles to go like hunting, and then they bring their elk and deer back on these carts. Meanwhile, always trying to avoid locomotives coming against them. So that was, yeah, that's a pretty harrowing experience. But Charlie got some really cool experiences, again, as long as he watches his swearing. So that could be kind of fun. Maybe it'd be fun anyway, I don't know. This is myself and Deadeye Rob. We had a really cool shootout in the park. It was pretty well received. We found out it didn't have as big impact as we want because we used cap guns and we wanted to use blanks, but the blanks we feared would be too close to real gunshots, and we didn't want the police getting alarmed. So we tried it this way, but I think if we coordinate with police this time, we can have a little bit more of an impact next year. And the impact would be more along this line. Here's Doctor Who, Darth Vader. You don't know what all these things have in common, but they do. We've got a script that kind of ties them all together into one really fun theatrical event there, and that should be fun too. Now, here's one of the things I'm most proud of. Heck on Wheels. We want a kids' car show to be done too. So kids get drugged to these car shows by their parents. They're kicking and screaming half the time. They don't want to be there that much. They want to just go home. Now, we can create a more of an immersive experience for the kids where they have their own car show, their own awards, their own races that they can do. We can have stock classes and we'll have modified classes as well. So any kid that has a Power Wheels, they're more than welcome to come shine that thing up and show it. Coolest thing is seeing one of the Hell on Wheels stickers on some kid's Power Wheels. That was the coolest thing I saw. I love that. I thought it was great. The coolest thing is these are the kids, when they have experiences like this, 20 years from now, they'll come back to Vader with their full-on hot rod and their family of 4, and they'll participate 20 years from now too. So we're creating memories for families and everybody for that matter. D Street deserves a stage. We need a stage. We need live music right before. I already covered that. And then we also will have a stage at McMurphy Park. And then we'll also have a stage up on A Street. By the way, we already own all these stages except for the B Street stage, which we've already secured, by the way. All this equipment is pretty much already owned and we already have it. So it's not something that I'm just like, hey, that would be really cool if we did. No, it's not yet, it's when. And then additionally, that's one thing we don't have right now, is a shuttle bus, but we're in the midst of acquiring one of those right now. And I want the shuttle bus to be able to take people from 8th Street all the way down McMurphy Park, drop them off, pick more people up, bring them up through, drop them off at Jason's place for the Trax Barn Grill. Jason said he's happy to have a live band going on there, have more of a saloon experience while people are there, pick them up there, take them up to 8th Street, take them over to Parwell Farms, bring them back. So we'll have this loop, a shuttle loop driving hundreds and hundreds of people throughout the day, throughout the entire city of Vader. And that's why Vader becomes the entire venue here instead of just one little area. Nonprofits can stand to gain big time by this. I gave a number of $5,000 to $10,000 for 90 nonprofits. 50-50 raffles. Everybody at the last car show said they wanted a 50-50 raffle. We didn't have anything. I didn't even really know what a 50-50 raffle was because I don't like to gamble. I've never participated in, but I heard of everybody always doing them every time we go someplace. So 50-50 raffles are cool, apparently. Midway game booths, they can collect 100% of the income from a midway game booth. Silent live auctions, anything they can raise, they keep. Concessions and approved sales. I am more than happy to allow nonprofits to have free concession booth spaces, and they can sell whatever they feel like they need to sell in order to make some money. They can also, I've offered them $25 per person to dress up like these 1800s characters and walk around the events and just mess with people and have a good time. $25 per person. If you have 10 people in your organization, that's $250 just for a couple hours worth of just having fun. And then there's a lot more opportunities on top of that. So basically, one weekend creates demand. It creates 12 months of opportunity because this starts to become bigger and bigger and bigger as we grow. Now let me take you to the next thing. Businesses come first in Vader. I think it's very important to not only not charge vendors too much money to be there, because vendors are not the way of making money. People are the way of making money because vendors are the ones that bring people in. So if we can get vendors that are there and they're happy, that's going to be a great thing. I also think it's important that we don't have direct competition between our vendors and our homegrown businesses here in Vader. I think if we have a business here, I was talking to Jason the other day, I was like, hey, I don't think anybody should put a bar up right outside your bar. And he agreed with that. He thought that was a terrible idea. So the people who invest in Vader 365 days a year should not be disadvantaged on the biggest day of the year. And that's why we have this thing called Vader First. Vader will always come first. Vader businesses come first. I'm hoping to be able to help some of the people in Vader grow their own businesses so that they can participate in this event and make some money. There's holes in our town here as far as economy goes. If they can find ways to make money at this event, and they can find ways probably to make money throughout the entire year. So we're working on that right now as well. Phase 2, 2027, that's this year. So basically, it's a 2-day event. There's 4 hubs, all ages, stuff to do for everybody, and one identity. That looks pretty weird right there. And then finally, we're gonna get on to phase 3. 2029, it becomes a must-attend event. This is where we expand advertising way outside Washington, Oregon. We start getting bigger clubs coming in. We get national recognition, we get national sponsorships. Right now, we're just getting the local sponsorships. We start to partner up with Winlock. I've been talking to Winlock. I've talked to Toledo. I've talked to Castle Rock. And I've already talked to the Chamber of Commerce in a couple areas. And we're locating places where people can come in and stay for several days, 5 days. They can camp at different places. They can camp out at Parwell Farms. They can basically bring a ton of money, a ton of recognition to our area. So it starts to become more like, hey, not that I'm going to a car show. It's more like, hey, we're going to take a few days off and we're going to go to Vader for Hell on Wheels. By 2030, this is the last phase that we're looking forward to. 6-day experience ending July 4th in Vader. Thousands of vehicles, road trips and rallies by car clubs that make it an event to come here, national partners, tourism economy. Now, the big thing is I'm not trying to change Vader. I'm not trying to take Vader and turn it into some massive, thriving metropolis. That is not the point. Vader's cool. We have a small footprint. We can stay just like that. But wouldn't it be cool just on a few days or a week if it just exploded? If it was like, oh my gosh, Vader's the coolest place I've ever been to. There's no place else on this entire planet like Vader. And this is the only place that this can happen. Kelso was cool, but Kelso was not cool like Vader. Vader is cool and it's got so much potential. I see the potential. It's got the history, it's got the streets, it's got the park system. Thank God we got great parks here. It's got a great park system and it has great leadership. And all these things can come together to make this probably one of the greatest events in the United States or possibly the world. Now, here's the big thing. How do we measure success? Success is no longer based on how many cars get to come or how many you can line up. It's not based on how much money is left over after the event. It's, are the people choosing Vader to come to? Are they traveling from further away? We had people last month come to ours from all the way from Idaho. We don't even know them. They just came because they heard about Hell on Wheels. Is the visitor demand creating sustainable opportunities? Is the city actually profiting from this event? Are the people in Vader getting greater income, getting greater opportunities by being part of this event? The biggest thing is, can safety and logistics keep up? So I've already talked to the Lewis County Sheriff's Department. We've talked with them. They really encouraged me to meet with Deputy Ruben over here as things progress to keep up with him because he is our person here. So eventually, really what it is Vader becomes known as the home of Hell on Wheels. Okay, now let's talk about the hard parts. We've already discussed this. We've already figured out a lot of these hard parts. Traffic overflow, emergency service accesses, self-funded operations. This costs the city zero. The city only stands to profit from this. Sound boundaries, nobody wants people revving their engines at 1 a.m. Nobody wants loud music at 2 a.m. So we've got all these hard boundaries on all these things. Additionally, the bigger you grow, the more you start to have problems with people, basically. You have employee problems, volunteer problems. So basically all this stuff has to scale at the right time in the right way. Not only that, but it's important that we keep residents all up to date on what's going on constantly. They need to know when the times are for everything, what dates things are happening, what's going on all the time. So I love the idea of having nonstop Q&As all the way up until the point the event happens. So anybody who has questions, they can come and get their questions answered. I also want a hotline, so anybody in Vader can just pick it up and be like, hey, we're having a problem over here on F Street. You're like, okay, I'm gonna send Mike over there. He's gonna beat him. Just kidding.
What is he picking up?
So here's what we need. We don't need a check from the city. What we need is a working partnership from the city. We need a clear path. We need to identify how we can make this happen in a way that's going to benefit everybody and remain safe and keep the infrastructure in really good shape. We need a seat at the table. We need working coordination with you guys, city council. We need to know if there's any problems or concerns. That means brought up right away, not a week before the event happens or as the event's happening. We can't have that happening. We need honest feedback. We need responsibility for the information that we have because some of the stuff will be confidential, so we don't want that just getting out to everybody. So really, everybody benefits. We've already been talking to so many people about this already. We've been planning this since probably 3 or 4 months ago. And we're in the process of making this happen. So really what we're saying is Vader doesn't have to be some massive town to make this happen. We don't have to do that, but we can have such a huge impact and imprint on the world just here in Vader. And I think that's the #1 thing. So I want families in the future to be like, yeah, we're taking the week off and we're going to Vader for Hell on Wheels. That's what I want. So that's my thing. All I'm asking for today is an approval for, you don't have to do it today, obviously, you can talk about it, but an approval for 2027. If things don't work in the future, all bets are off and then you're all done. So that's all there is to it. So I'm just saying, give us a chance, help us build, give us a chance to just make this thing really take off and become, you know, what it can become. And that's my presentation. Thank you.
What a great presentation. I know who to get to give the tourism grant presentation to the county next time.
You need me to disconnect?
Oh, no, I can take it from you.
Sorry to have to script it.
Thank.
Script is for your benefit.
Okay. Any council discussion before we move on? Okay, more.
I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, yeah.
First, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to present to us. I do want to point out that in the fine art industry, immersive experience has been going on for 5 years. So I think this is on trend for what's happening in experiential experiences, for lack of a better word, in other areas. I do think council needs to think about what the process would look like for something like this. I'm willing to reach out to the city of Snoqualmie, which is where I came from, to see how they've handled big events like this, because we hosted and I participated in hosting large events, so how they interacted and engaged with organizations. So I'll do that, but I do think we need to come up with a process and thoughts on how we want to approach next year.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, we'll move on to public comment for agenda-related items only. Is there any public comment regarding agenda items? Okay, city business item number 1, council to consider the offer letter of employment extended to the clerk treasurer candidate. I was hoping that he'd be able to make it tonight, but he wasn't able to. As you know, Kristen is retiring.
Sure.
Independently wealthy and retiring. So
Resigning probably works, or moving on.
Resigning has such a negative connotation.
Okay. He's headed off.
Retiring, everyone gets happy. And so we did have job interviews and an amazing candidate that has experience being a clerk treasurer for other cities for a decade and other city management experience. Very, very personable, Cody Lord. And so I'm asking for council approval for the job offer.
I make a motion that we approve the clerk treasurer new candidate, as long as Kristen doesn't want to stay.
Everybody, I wish you saw us, we all be like.
Have you all met him? No? Be nice.
So, question,
Yeah.
before we go much further. Being only on for a year now, is this the process that you go through, that you pick a candidate, you send out the offer letter saying that you want to hire them without talking to the council first?
Yeah.
And you come to us and ask us to approve that, oh, what we know is what we've read a little bit, and we've heard a little bit about?
Yeah, so the mayor has hiring authority. That's one of my roles. Usually the way it works is that we'll find a candidate, we'll try to have some council members on the interview team. And then we usually have the council confirm the candidate, and that's about it. I don't even know if the council has to confirm the candidate, but we always do.
So just a question, I'm just trying to learn. So if the mayor has the right to hire, why does the mayor need to come to the council to have it approved?
Just because I want to.
Okay.
So I appreciate that there's no impact to the budget. So I trust your hiring authority if this is the candidate you recommend, and I appreciate that there's no impact to the budget. The budget's going to remain the same. That's, I think, what does impact us as council members. So.
Yeah, and as with all employees, a 6-month probationary period, and so if it doesn't work out with.
We send Mike down, yeah.
We got Kristen back.
Then we'll call her back.
Yeah.
Cody is amazing. One of the questions I asked him later on when he kind of on a one-on-one was if he was really as great as he seemed, because
Nice.
really, really is a great person. So a great person and a qualified candidate.
So how soon after he's approved that he's over here being trained?
I don't have an exact date, but it's within, Kristen wasn't within the next
When we interviewed,
Few
he said
weeks.
6 weeks,
Yeah.
and that's already been 2.
Yeah.
So,
So it'll be the next few weeks is the anticipated start date.
Cool.
So we have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the job offer. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is there a
If I
second?
have the questions, I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Hurt. More discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Council consider resolution 10-2026, planning committee appointment. I think in the council packet, there was Dale Donaldson's application. Dale is actually here tonight, it's in the back row. If you've watched any of the planning committee meetings and some of the park board meetings, Dale's been in attendance. Dale's talked to some of the other members of those both park board and planning committee, and they were impressed by him. And so I submit his name for appointment.
Your Facebook picture is an old picture.
Yes, it is. Thanks for pointing that out.
No, I was trying to do the math and I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's plenty old, I don't change it much.
I make a motion that we approve Dale for the planning committee.
A motion by Mr. Parsons to approve Mr. Donaldson to the planning committee. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Hanson. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for anything.
Most of you already know, if you were listening last week that, or ever, that my husband and I are trying to cut off a few lots off of the bottom of our property just to have less to take care of. It's been an ordeal. But I'm not really sure what's hanging it up usually, but it's still being hung up. But then I look across the street, across 7th Street, and you can see Jerry Baker's subdivision, a really nice subdivision. He's doing quality work, he's putting in quality things, nice stick-built homes. It's kind of what we want for down on our property. There's nothing wrong with mobile homes, but we don't want mobile homes. We have CCNRs to keep that from happening. And we're kind of basing off of what Jerry has done across the street. What he doesn't have is, he doesn't have paved street, he doesn't have sidewalks, he doesn't have lighting, and it's still neat and tidy. And I trust that the other homes that he'll eventually put up will also be neat and tidy. It'll have garages and it'll have all the things that the planning committee talked about last week. And that's our goal, but we keep getting hung up on, you need sidewalks, you need to fix or do frontage improvements on 7th, which the state's already told us you can't do. You need to completely put in 6th Street. Jerry didn't do any of those things. He didn't have to improve 8th. He didn't have to improve 7th. He didn't even have to do frontage improvements on either one of them. So we have to do something to make this a little easier. We have to be able to put in quality subdivisions with enough room for people to put in homes and not make it so cumbersome and so difficult that people just say, what the hell, let my kids figure it out when I'm dead. This is getting too much. And last week I had said something about the planner was telling us one thing and then the engineer said another thing and then we got something else from somebody else. And I tried to get them all together in one meeting, but unfortunately the city charges several $100s for me to do that. For them to all talk together, it was gonna cost us several $100s. Well, that's ridiculous. It shouldn't cost me anything to talk to them, and it shouldn't cost anything for me to ask them to talk to each other in an open meeting. So I don't know if you can do anything about that, if you can make them, not make them, but ask them to talk together and get together and come up with a solution like we had talked about at the beginning of the meeting, that we could possibly do something similar to what Jerry Baker's already done. In fact, none of the subdivisions that have ever been done in Vader have everything that are in that planning code, the code plan for subdivisions. So something has to be done, and I'm not sure if the council does it, if Joe can do it, if the planning committee can do it, but we want quality to come in, and we don't want to make it so hard that people just give up. And that's what some of the developers were saying last week. We're done. We're just gonna give up. And we want these things to happen, so let's try to work together and get it to happen. That's it.
So Jerry's subdivision up there doesn't have to have sidewalks? I know he paved the one road.
No, it's not paved.
It's not paved?
It's a gravel road.
The road that he created is private and it's
Well, mine would
owned,
be private as well.
and it's owned by a homeowners association. And so they maintain it, versus, the difference, for instance, with Ms. Radcliffe's project is that, 6th Street, the right of way exists on the back side of the field where the homes would go in. And so her project needs to connect to 6th Street. So it's a city right of way. It can't be private. And so along with a city street comes those frontage improvements. So it's not exactly an apples to apples
Well, but you would
comparison.
have to put sidewalks on 8th.
Yeah, I don't have all the details exactly why that qualifies, maybe because the homes don't face 8th.
Well, mine wouldn't either.
I don't, well, but you're creating 6th Street is what you'd be doing. So I don't have all the details. I can't go back and forth with it, but I do know it's not exactly the same situation. So. Any other public comment tonight on anything? Elected official comments.
I just want to give everyone an update on the carousel project I've been talking about. So we have a potential nonprofit that's interested in sponsoring the project for us. We're going to present to them in September, but we would love for people to find out more about the project and pledge their support. So I have a couple flyers that I'll leave. You can scan this QR code to find out more.
Exciting. Any other council members?
I have a quick question. For that carousel, if someone were to scan that, it would go to what the carousel is all about, what the money would go for, right?
Yeah, so it basically talks about what we're trying to do to kind of rescue the carousel from its current position. And then it explains that because it's not part of a current organization that we're just asking for pledges, we're asking for financial pledges. It doesn't actually take donation money because we need to wait till we have a specific nonprofit, but people can sign up and say that they're willing to pledge $1 or $100 to help support us. So we'll keep adding to it so people can keep following along.
All right, if there's no other elected official comments, this meeting's adjourned at 6:56 PM.